welcome to the show. It's great to have you back. 2022 starts with a double bill in National 2 North and Clifton versus Leicester Lions, but we start at Volac Park in Cambridge. The Blood and Sand flew out of 2021 with just one loss in their last 11, but Sale, who sit third, are looking to make it 4 wins on the road in a row. It's been all Sale in this first 30 minutes. Been trying to pull Cambridge this way and that way. That's Robbins. Callum Morris looking for options. He's got one on the right, it's Metcalf, he's gone all the way out. There's Johnson, where did he come from? This is the first score of the afternoon. Well, Cambridge bled space, got stuck in the sand.
It's been moving through phases and phases and phases of rugby, and of course Johnson's found himself out wide in acres of space and didn't even have to break sweat.
How do you solve a problem like Sale? That's the question Richie Williams has been asking at half-time. This is Nick Gray. Raytho Norris brings him down. Well, it's still on at the breakdown. Ben Brownlee breaking towards the 22. Hughes hauls him down. Bean & Dahl has 3 on the right. One of them's Joe Green. He's got 2. He doesn't need them, though. The fullbacks, he's gone all the way. Wow. That's how you start a second half. There was barely anything to choose between the two sides going into the break. Joe Green has brought us level within seconds of the restart. Strap in. And again, they spread it to the left. Hemmer looking for his fullback, Joe Green, the scorer of the first try. He comes into his winger. That's Andrew Henderson. Well, he got a brilliant hit in the first half. He's got a brilliant try in the second. And Cambridge getting themselves an opportunity to go ahead again for the first time.
Fantastic score. That was really, really well worked. Jake McLeod making impact in the middle of the field, which was what he was brought on for. The ball breaking out wide and a fine finish with a little bit of juggle. And I'll take you back to what we said earlier. It's not who scores first in this one. It's who scores last.
That's a great take from the winger. Locked up by Dixon.
Try scorer Andy Henderson.
Penalty again to Selva coming in off the feet. Fury from the bench. That one's through. It's a hat-trick of penalties for Johnson. The heave calls come around Volac Park. As the sun dips low, the intensity climbs on the sands in the support. They've reached a little bit of a wall. Brownlee has to pass it on to Veen & Dahl. Hemmer looking for the line. He's found it! Matt Hemmer ghosting through the Sale line. He's been dying for an opportunity like that one in this half, and he finally got it. Brilliant move, and Cambridge, for the first time in this game, are ahead.
Unbelievable try. Now that's what happens when you have a weapon as prodigious as Cambridge driving maul, because Sale are trying to protect themselves against the driving maul. All of a sudden, a gap opens up. Hemmer bursts into it. You're not stopping Matt Hemmer. That human wrecking ball from there.
They are really starting to build something here. Only one loss in 12 now. Full time. Cambridge 17, Sale 14.
To be honest, coming out after Christmas, I was a bit worried about where the boys' mentality would be at. But that first half for me is probably one of the best games we've had this season on defence-wise. Boys putting their bodies on the line and work rate. Yeah, it was just class to see.
And getting that winning try as well, just seeing the sea part almost for you. One amazing moment for you.
Well, I loved it because I wasn't having the best game, so that kind of makes up for it a little bit. But we've been a few times in the first half of the season where we've let teams in, and I was like, no, we're going to do it again, but we just held them out at the end. That's definitely our goal, to be either the top 3 or top 2. So, I mean, we're just going to keep trying, and if it works out, it works out. So we just got to keep playing game by game, and if it happens, it happens. So fingers crossed.
Here's the rest of the National 1 action, starting with a big day for Leeds Titans at Headingley Stadium.
Returning to their 21,000-seater former home certainly helped Leeds Titans, drawing level with Rotherham Park through Suramaya Turabagechi. But the London side took control in the second half. Nick Scott's interception setting Lewis Jones off for their first win of 2022. In the southwest, Darlington Moden Park looked to cause an upset when Joe Craggs thundered over for the lead. They did not account for Taunton's Titans' own front row star George Gosling as he finished off a hat-trick for the bonus point win. Birmingham Mosley's entertaining brand of rugby continued at Well Hall, scoring 2 tries in 10 second half minutes with some slick moves. Blackheath have now suffered back-to-back home losses, but did take a losing bonus through Tom Williams' last gasp drive. Could another second half of the season revival be on for Plymouth Albion? Craig Duncan's brilliant brace helped them secure a victory in the mud at Brickfields. Bishop Stortford had been within 2 points at half-time, but took nothing home, James Ayrton scoring their only try. 250 miles away, Tonbridge Juddians nearly added to the day's drama when Tom White's fourth penalty put them 4 points ahead of Rams. But the top half-side waited until there were 4 minutes of time at the Slade before making their move through Andrew Humberstone. And another top-of-the-table clash kept fans on the edge of their seats at the Wirral, where Cinderford looked set for victory through Will Baldwin. Caldy had put on a show for the fans, and they would have the final cheer through Nick Royal's wonderful move. What a day of drama! 5 of the 7 games saw the team separated by 6 points or less. Chinner had their second rest week of the season. Rosslyn Park continued to pull away, but the chasing pack is tightened. Birmingham, Moseley and Plymouth Albion's wins sees Bishop Stortford drop down again.
First versus third, second versus fourth. It had to be a double whopper for Nat 2 North, didn't it?
It was a wet, windy day up there, but the teams both tried to play a bit of rugby, which was good to see. You know, going into that, you'd always think Rotherham would probably try and dominate the set piece, but Sedgley scrummaged really well. Ultimately, both teams were a bit sloppy on the day, but maybe that's down to the weather conditions. Sedge, towards the second half, really got into it. And they did have the opportunities to sort of take it, you know, to get the win. Luckily, Matt Gallagher got over in the corner, and then Steve Collins, you know, he hit the ball really well, but he just missed it for the win, which is unfortunate. That's, you know, that's part and parcel of rugby. But a really good game and really 2 good clubs.
An unbeaten home team against a side with just 1 away loss. This was meant to be tight. But Hull's Mike Adler didn't get the message, pouncing after just 3 minutes to stun Stourbridge. A 6th consecutive win was on the cards for Gary Pearce's boys, and Will Hall's score here made that look certain after just 10 minutes. Power brought the third try to Paloma Cavalu, smashing through the visitors' 14-men defence. With Hull losing 2 men in their defensive efforts, Neil Mitchell's side made their numerical superiority count on the whistle, Dan Rundle crossing out wide. But the 13 men were gifted a bonus try after the break, Lawrence Carring intercepting the sprinting for Adelaide to finish. It was all Hull after that, and it was starman Adelaide who added the cherry in the last 10 minutes at the Ferrens ground.
Is the rest of the National 2 North action, including some silky skills at the Avenue?
In fact, a day in the mud treated Wharfdale and Sheffield Tigers, but it did not stop Tom Davidson kicking 3 penalties for the hosts. The visitors' scoring pair of Mark Ireland and Jamie Broadley denied their opponents, Curtis Wilson scoring the sole try. Wharfdale had one last chance for victory with a driving maul, got stuck in the mud at the Avenue to fall just short. In the clash of the promoted sides, Bourneville saw out their game plan to the letter, grabbing 3 tries which were finished by Tom Burrows. Harrogate stayed in touch of the Chocos throughout, Jake Percival's power and precision ensuring a losing bonus point. Another narrow affair unfolded in Chester. Despite 2 tries, Luctonians were within 2 points at the break through Tom Smith. Only 3 penalties came in the second half, and, crucially, 2 of them for the hosts, Liam Reeve to win by 5 points. On the other side of Leeds, life was much easier for Huddersfield, who had Tom Hodson to thank with his brilliant brace. It marked the first home win for the side since November, Bladen only taking solace in 3 tries, including this from Jack Appleton. 9 tries were shared between Loughborough students and Fylde in a thriller at the Crum. 3 of them in the first 13 minutes, all for Fylde. The students got a scoring bonus to go with their losing point, starting with a brilliant piece of skill from Jacobson. The game of two halves came from Station Road. Tynedale went ahead through Ralph Johnston, taking a 9-point lead into the break. But errors from the hosts allowed Hull Ionians back into the game as Sam Wilson capitalised out wide. Holding the lead through penalties, Tynedale were breached in stoppage time before Lewis Minikin added the extras for a share of the spoils. Just like National 1, there's very little to choose between the National 2 North sides in round 16. To read out all about the tries scored in National League Rugby, grab a copy of the Rugby paper. The double bill sees Hull go 5 points clear and Rotherham goes second. There are two swaps at the bottom, with Sheffield Tigers and Harrogate both climbing a place.
Clifton came into 2022 with a chance to go top of National 2 South, but knew Leicester Lions would give them a challenge.
Nearly 2 years ago to kick-off, the Midlands side put 6 tries past Clifton. That may have been a motivating factor for the title chasers. Harry Bate and Brad Talbot finding the line either side of Dan Martin's ghosting through the Bristol side. The Lions were aiming for a 5th win in a row. Their own motivating factor as Zach Bean and Ben Young put them within 6 points at the break. But Matt Salter's boys came out with intention of winning, starting a minute after the restart with Charlie Powell. Alex Giltro and Bate followed up with their own scores before the hour, taking the tally to 85 tries for the season. Devon Constant could take the 3rd try on the journey home, while table-topping spoils awaited Clifton.
And here's the other games from National 2 South, starting at Leicester Road. Henley Hawks were taking on the challenge well at the start, Will Crowe flying through the Hinckley defence for their 2nd try. And a 10th try of the season for Ruben Norville, running from 65 metres, put the visitors on for a bonus point win. But Hinckley substitute Shane Nixon had something to say, scoring a brilliant hat-trick, though falling short of victory in the end. With Clifton getting a win, challengers Esher looked to be having a bad day when Dings Crusaders' Tom Wilstead struck after just 2 minutes. But this only spurred the Surrey side into action, Pierre Thompson breaking through for the lead 2 minutes before the break. 6 more followed in the second half, and while Dings took 4 of them, Sam Morley's more accurate boot won the day narrowly. At the Marine Travel Ground, the boggy mire in Kent was masterfully handled by Old Albanian's Elliot McFun, helping set up Chris West for the first score. Canterbury were limited to a single penalty on the board thanks to the scrum half, thinking quickly here to set up Alex Newt. With victories flying in at the top, Worthing Raiders set up for their own after half an hour with Matt McLean finding the line here. Bury St Edmunds will rue the missed opportunities throughout the game. This one came after the break and did not end well for them. Rene Drode's side were not in a sympathetic mood, capitalising through Josh Toosler to keep up with the pace at the top. But it was not the case for Red Roof. Cornwall's brutal conditions did not faze Barnes, going ahead after 9 minutes with Ed Berridge's drive. The hosts worked their way back into the game, ahead with 25 minutes left through Chris Fuka. But Barnes never gave in, and it took the very last move of the game at the Rec to win it, Angus Farquhar diving for victory in stunning style. Well, what a great weekend of drama to kickstart 2022. Guernsey vs Rochford 100 and Westcliff vs Barnstaple were postponed due to COVID concerns. It's all changed in the top half. Clifton lead again, Red Roof are now third, and Barnes are into the upper echelons. The only change at the bottom is the arrival of Guernsey. And just before we go, here are some things you may have missed from round 16. While Blackheath's day ended in defeat to Birmingham Moseley, it was a special one for winger Jake Lloyd as he made his 150th appearance for the club. Here's some of his best tries from the season so far. Congrats Jake, and here's to many more. And we think we found the answer to Hull's table-topping form. Will Hall was getting some extra preparation in ahead of the big win against Stourbridge. It certainly wasn't a close shave on the pitch. And round 16's Player of the Week goes to Rotherham Titans. Their try had everything. A dink, a run, some lovely hands, lovely feet and a super score for Harry Newborn in their win against Sedgley Park. That's it from Volac Park as Cambridge ring in 2022 in the best way possible. See you next week. Hey guys, just one last word from me. We really appreciate all the support from you guys, the subscribers, as we cross the halfway mark in the 2021-22 season. We want to continue increasing exposure and coverage of these leagues, but in order to do that next season, we're going to need your help. It's really simple. All you have to do is share any links and posts related to the show that we put out on our communications platforms and just keep spreading the word. The more reach we get, the more subscribers we'll get and more opportunity to show off how brilliant these leagues are. Thank you so much again. We'll see you next week and let's keep pushing National League Rugby.